What's up, everybody? This is the Cartman here, and today we're talking about South Park because this is a series I have loved for a long time, and they have finally returned after 2.5 years, I think, of not producing new episodes. But their newest episode, titled Sermon on the Mount, the first episode they made and produced under their new contract with Paramount, has sent out some shockwaves, to say the least.
Did you anticipate the reaction today? Have you been following it? What do you make of it?
We're terribly sorry.
So I love South Park, and I really wanted to talk about this episode, but this is kind of new territory for me. I don't typically talk about TV shows on my channel, so I have invited the local resident South Park expert, the one, the only, Blooms, to have a discussion with me about this new South Park episode. Blooms, how are you doing today?
I'm doing absolutely wonderful. I'm ready to talk about some South Park act, man.
Really? You talk about South Park?
I know it's shocking, but
who could have foreseen this? You want to tell my audience a little bit about yourself, your channel, what you do?
So, hello, my name is Blooms. You may know me as the South Park guy, at least that's what I am often referred to as. I make videos about South Park. That's pretty much it. I have some other videos, but those don't do as well, so I mostly just talk about South Park.
We're all pigeonholed into something, right?
Everyone was a slave to something.
I figure, let's get the South Park guy on here because I have some thoughts on this episode and I wanted to tackle it in a way that's a bit different than what other people are doing. This is the interesting thing about South Park is like whatever they cover almost always causes some kind of controversy, but that amount of controversy differs. But you always have like one side of people who's like, hell yeah, this validates my beliefs, haha, and then they point to the group that South Park is making fun of, when the group that South Park is making fun of is like, I thought this show was supposed to be on my team. It's
always people thinking the show's agreeing with them and people who think the show is disagreeing with them, and generally they're both wrong. So that tends to be the case.
Yeah, so I have some theories, and I think the direction of this video is going to be more about South Park fans that don't really understand South Park.
And we were just like, you don't understand. That's so anti-South Park.
So lame.
Don't do that. Please don't do that.
What the show is really about and what its creators are, what the goals of Matt and Trey really are at the end of the day. When you boil down South Park to its absolute core, what is it?
Well, technically, I'm supposed to be Stan and Matt's supposed to be Kyle. That's sort of where it all started, was like Stan was the little me and Kyle was the little Matt. But as the further we go along, we realize we're really both more Cartman.
Yeah, just big fat bastards.
Yeah.
But Blooms, I want to get your thoughts on Sermon on the Mount. Do you think it was a return to form?
I think it absolutely was a return to form. I think this is probably one of the best episodes they've made in, I would say, minimum a decade, probably more. This is like satire on another level in the sense that it is so many layers deeper than people think it is.
I just need a couple of things, and then I'm gonna head back to Iran.
I thought you were from Iraq.
Iran, Iraq, what the hell's the difference? Relax, guy. Come on, you don't want me to bomb you like I did Iraq.
I thought you just bombed Iran.
Iran, Iraq, what the hell's the difference? Relax, guy.
Okay, so while editing this clip, I realized that both of these lines are literally the exact same. They didn't even re-record this. They went back to season 2, 27 years ago, just to reuse this joke.
I thought you just bombed Iran.
Iran, Iraq, what the hell's the difference? Relax, guy.
Matt and Trey are on another level.
The context behind all of this and what they're doing is like one of the most ballsy things I've ever seen like anyone do. And especially in the show business, to take the money they did from Paramount and then immediately go after essentially their Achilles heel with Donald Trump and all the shit they've been dealing with him. So it is insane, and it's one of the craziest things they've done, in my opinion.
I absolutely agree. Like, I think this is one of the best South Park episodes of all time. Maybe we have recency bias right now, but I think this is another one of those episodes, kind of like Cartoon Wars Part 1 and 2, 200, was it 200 and 201?
200, 201, yes. Trapped in the Closet, Scientology.
Trapped in the Closet, Scientology, sue me.
Well, go on then, sue me.
We're going to.
Do it. I'm not scared of you. Sue me.
Either it's all okay or none of it is.
If you don't show Muhammad, then you've made a distinction between what is okay to poke fun at and what isn't. Either it's all okay or none of it is. Hey, I'll fucking sue you.
Kind of these issues that really define the core of South Park, which is being able to say whatever the fuck you want, being able to piss people off and entertain everyone.
Throughout this whole ordeal, we've all wanted to show things that we weren't allowed to show. But it wasn't because of some magic goo. It was because of the magical power of threatening people with violence. That's obviously the only true power.
I think that's
Exactly.
what South Park's really about, and this is kind of like
Exactly.
another entry in that style of episode.
100%. That's something I kind of say in my video, is that this is like the most South Park thing they have ever done. I feel like this is like the defining episode of South Park, kind of. Like, it feels like it's all kind of led up to this moment.
Nobody makes fun of me and gets away with it.
Yeah, do you wanna describe the basically like the context of the episode with Paramount and all that? Like I do
would
understand it,
love
but
to.
yeah, you already made a video, so like you're sharp. Okay, so this is the part where Bloom's attempted to describe the situation and context behind this episode, but his summary ended up being, well, about 15 minutes. So if you're curious, I would say just watch his video. It will be linked in the description. And that way we can make this video shorter. Hooray! So the episode Sermon on the Mount, while on the surface it seems like, oh, this is just a dig at Trump, and these jokes are so juvenile, they're saying his penis is small and, you know, I'm gonna sue you. But if you don't know all of this context behind South Park's new contract with Paramount, what they're really doing is trying to piss off Trump and the White House as a sort of revenge against Paramount for all the shit they were going through trying to get this deal figured out so they could produce the show.
Exactly. So they were incredibly pissed off at Paramount. They've a lot of people don't know this either, because this was one of the Paramount specials that they made, but they had a 2-part Streaming Wars special, which was all about Paramount Plus and how much they hate it and trying to deal with this lawsuit that was going on.
Ha! They don't give a fuck, Kyle. Well, they're gonna take everything they can get. Everyone knows at the end of the day, there's only gonna be like 3 streaming services, so they're like, everyone just wants to have their shit on their stream and get bought out, you know? And they don't give a fuck how good anything is.
This was like, I want to say 2 years ago now. So they did this already. They have already shown that they were mad at Paramount Plus, and that was before all of this crazy shit would happen with the merger and all that. So they do not like Paramount Plus, and this was basically all a way to get a rise. This is rage bait. They were rage baiting Trump to get him to be mad at Paramount again and basically ruin any of the good graces that they just made with Trump.
Right. And I think the big point, right? Because there's clips when you know Jesus comes back and he's like, "Eat the bread, eat the bread. You want to end up like Colbert?"
The guy can do whatever he wants now that someone back down, okay? Eat the bread, eat the bread.
Because when Matt and Trey talk about how they come up with dialogue, plot for episodes, what they'll often do is include arguments and discussions they have in the writer's room. And so to me, that clip of Jesus like talking through gritted teeth, it almost sounds like that's what someone was saying to Matt and
Someone was
Trey.
telling them,
Yeah.
just shut up, don't talk about it, basically. 100%.
Whether you like Colbert or not, personally, I did like him more on the Colbert Report, but I'm also kind of nostalgic about when him and Jon Stewart were both on there. I felt like it was maybe funnier, but I think whether or not you like Stephen Colbert or not, what this whole thing appears to be is like cracking down on free speech.
All right, then I'm gonna sue your whole town. You got that? $5 billion.
Cracking down on the press, cracking down on speech that offends the president, right? And so he's using his position and weaponizing it to basically, you know, say, hey, I don't like this guy, you know, take him off the air.
Get this guy out of here. I'm gonna sue you. I'm gonna sue both of you.
If you know anything about Matt and Trey, they're big fans of censorship, right?
Love it. They love censorship.
They love it. So on the surface, yeah, this is making fun of Trump and this is making fun of American culture and where America is at this point. But it's really like the bigger issue is, are we even going to be able to make South Park anymore? If we can't make fun of the president, if Stephen Colbert gets shut down for making fun of the president, are we next?
Yeah. 100%. Like in the episode, there's a whole subplot with Cartman. He gives up on life because woke is dead, so he has no one to piss off anymore, so he can't be a pest to people.
I'm not special anymore. So what's the point in me even existing?
He has a whole subplot where him and Butters try to kill themselves by going into Butters' garage and leaving the car on. And the way I read that is that this is basically Matt and Trey this is their suicide attempt. They're saying this could be it, you know, like they're saying we don't even know if we're going to continue from here.
Oh, I think I might be going.
Yep, sweet death is about to come. I love you, man.
Who knows? And I think it's kind of beautiful in that way.
Yeah, it's like a suicide pact. I mean, Cartman's saying, I love you, man, to Butters, especially knowing all the like shit they've gone through together.
Butters!
Mostly shit Cartman has, done to Butters, and like, but Butters is still kind of there for him, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, let's touch on that a bit, right? The whole woke is dead.
I think I know what's happening. I think woke is dead.
Woke is dead?
It's dead, Butters. It's gone.
This does feel like a swan song type of episode, or at least it could potentially be. A lot of Cartman's antics have been normalized and kind of like accepted. So what role does the show have anymore if it's not satire anymore, if it's real life, right?
Yes,
I think about
100%.
like a couple weeks ago, Elon Musk did some tweaks to the Grok AI, and it just immediately started referring to itself as Mecha Hitler, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's real life. That's the plot of a South Park episode. That's something Cartman
100%.
would do. Like,
Literally.
tweak the AI to be anti-Semitic.
To be Hitler.
Yeah.
100%, definitely.
Here's like the big question is like, and I think it's the question South Park is asking itself right now. How do we continue satirizing what is already the most absurd real life scenarios?
And I think that's something that they've had to deal with already in the first Trump administration, which is why season 20, that was the season where Trump gets elected, that was an absolute shit show, probably the worst season of the entire show. And it was because they're trying to make fun of Trump, but it's one of those things where it's like, how do you make fun of him? He is already such a character. He's so absurd. He's so out there that, like, satire doesn't work because he already is a satire of politics and American politics specifically. So that question comes up in this case, especially now that it seems like it's even more insane than it was back then.
Yeah.
And I think that their approach in this episode of literally just going full juvenile, like absurdist, cartoon-esque stuff, I think that is honestly a better approach because it's just funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like comedic, and they're not focusing too much on trying to make a point or trying to say something about it like they were in the past. It's just, let's just point and laugh at him, basically. That's literally all it is. It's like so simple, and I think that's kind of the only way that you can even do something like that effectively.
Yeah, they went like full caricature, and I do want to say I love the whole cutout head, different getting different faces, because it's so expressive and funny, and it stands out from like anything anyone else does. And Matt and Trey
100%.
really haven't done that for a long time, right?
No, I think the last one was Saddam.
Hey, that looks like Saddam Hussein.
Saddam Hussein? Nah, relax, baby. I'm not him.
I know they've done like the cutout, like they did it for what's his name, Mel Gibson. I know they did it for.
They actually, in one of the Christmas episodes, I think it might be season 3, they had Hitler like singing Tannenbaum
There's a bunch of them.
in Hell.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them in that episode down there.
Hey, Hitler, what's the matter, little guy?
They would either use it for someone who is like completely insane, or they'd use it in their horror episodes.
The following program is brought to you in spooky vision. Be warned, all scenes will be accompanied by pictures of Barbra Streisand.
Barbra Streisand, the spooky vision, yeah.
And then there's that other one where they all get Ritalin, and Cartman starts seeing like little Christina Aguilera monsters.
Aguilera monsters, yes.
Just the way Trump moves in this episode, and like his face, because they used pictures of his like mugshot, which I thought was really funny. That. And they just gave him the exact same voice as Saddam Hussein. There's like this one part, the way he talks is so fucking funny, but he like snuggles up and he's just like, give me again. Like, you almost can't understand what he's saying.
And I honestly think, this is more just from like a lore perspective, I honestly think it is actually Saddam Hussein, and he's just wearing a disguise, because last time we saw him, he basically did that exact same thing as the Prime Minister of Canada. So I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they revealed that it actually is just Saddam Hussein in a disguise, but
I can change, I can change. I can learn to keep my promises, I swear it. I'll open up my heart and I will share it. Any minute now I will be born again. A dictator from the Middle East? Hey, relax, relax, guy. I'm just your average Joe. Take a rest.
Well, and what was really surprising was that they did a Comic-Con panel and they said, oh yeah, that trailer that we released where we had like a bunch of stuff done, like it seemed like, yeah, that was all fake. We just made that for the trailer. Like we didn't have anything done. We got in there and started making episodes like a week ago. So,
which is kind of crazy because I recently watched that trailer, and if you haven't seen it, it's pretty good. It shows like French Canadians.
I still want to see. Yeah.
Yeah, it shows like Butters as an air traffic controller. Which
yeah, and like all the planes crashing. It has like Starvin' Marvin makes a return with P Diddy. It's like so stupid. I kind of want to see that, but I don't know. Maybe they'll come back to it.
I want to see that. Are you kidding me? Like P Diddy, cover it all. I hope it's not just all American politics.
Yeah.
I hope that, because there has been a lot of stuff. They should make a Diddy episode.
Especially now that, like, with the updates on the trial, I think it would make for something interesting.
So I think now we should transition to the real meat of this video, which is why South Park works, how some people and some fans don't really understand it, and what the true intentions of Matt and Trey are, right? Now, the thing that makes South Park work, in my opinion, or at least part of it, is it being political is incidental. If you watch Stephen Colbert, you know what you're getting, right? You're getting left-wing politics from Stephen Colbert. If you watch Ben Shapiro, you know exactly what you're getting. You're getting right-wing politics. The nice thing about South Park is that you don't always know what you're gonna get. And that's part of the entertainment, for me at least, is both of these two guys have their own agendas. They're part of a bigger picture, and you already know that whenever you click on a video or watch an episode.
Definitely.
With South Park, you don't know exactly how they're going to cover something.
100%. And I think what a lot of people don't realize about South Park, I think a lot of people think they're trying to say something first, like that's their goal, is to make a statement or to make a point. But I think what people don't realize is that when Matt and Trey are writing an episode of South Park, and they've talked about this before, their number one priority is comedy. They're trying to make something funny. If they're offensive, if they piss people off, if they make a statement in doing that, that is incidental, as you said. It all comes with it, and that's why South Park is so good, because they really don't care that much about making a point or making a statement. They end up doing it most of the time, but their number one priority is to make people laugh. So that's the thing. It's like people think that South Park is trying to be political, and I think that in the past they have kind of done that, like with the later seasons, like season 20 to 22-ish, like that time frame. I think they kind of got caught up in that almost of like, we need to say something about this rather than we need to make something funny, you know?
Right. Which is the right way to look at things, I think. And
exactly.
I think for people that are upset about this episode or upset about previous episodes, or they feel like they're being targeted by South Park and Matt and Trey, what you have to understand about Matt and Trey and South Park is that they essentially have one trick. And if you can sniff it out, you'll be okay. Matt and Trey, at their heart, they are God tier level trolls. All right. That is what they are. It's like they do this shit for their own amusement. Think of the balls it takes to accept a $1.5 billion contract and then say, yeah, screw you.
Yes.
You know, we're still going to say what we want to say. That's the whole point, right?
100%.
You think about when they went to the Oscars and they did acid and put these dresses on, and they were like talking about how to troll Hollywood, and you know, there was one clip where he's like, okay, and if they ask about the dresses, just don't address it at all.
Such a beautiful evening. You just have to say, such a beautiful evening.
There's so much magic in the air. I was watching through that.
We said we can't say anything about the dresses.
Nothing about the dresses.
No matter what they ask
everyone
us,
would go,
don't say
guys,
anything.
what about the dresses? Why the dresses? And we go, magical night tonight. Just all the clothes are out.
Is that why you're in the dress? It's just such a magical evening, and everyone looks so spectacular. You know, we just wanted to be a part of it all. It's a night of magic.
You know, South Park and Matt and Trey, they dunk on Hollywood celebrities, people they think are fake or phony. They make fun of extremism, and if that happens to be tied to some political ideology, then that's what it is.
Yeah. I made a whole video about this idea that has kind of sprouted up relatively recently, and this is more of kind of the liberals' reason to hate South Park. It's like there's different reasons that people give for hating South Park depending on what side of what side they're on. And with liberals, I've noticed a lot of time, because they know that it's not an anti-liberal show per se, they'll do this idea that, oh, South Park made it cool to not care. They made apathy popular. They made it like, oh, we're too cool to care about anything kind of thing. My point in saying this is that I made a whole video talking about that idea of South Park made it cool to not care and showing why that's not really the truth. They actually do care about a lot of stuff. They're not making fun of people for caring about things as people often think. They're making fun of people who are extreme in their beliefs or annoying about the way they care about things and that kind of stuff.
Or care too much.
Care too much, exactly.
Yeah.
People who pretend to care, that's another really big one. Pretending to care about things, performing, like performance activism, all that kind of stuff. That's kind of the core of South Park. And, you know, people think South Park is attacking them when they attack something like that, but they're not necessarily attacking a movement. They're attacking the people. They're attacking how people treat this movement. And I think even with Trump, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, it's all just like critique of culture and
Exactly.
making fun of people, making fun of themselves, making fun of Americans, like, and I feel like that's necessary in any functioning society, is being able to laugh at yourself. You know, when South Park made the World of Warcraft episode and it just portrayed gamers as like, you know, fat losers sitting in their mom's basement, literally, like,
yes.
As a kid, and even now, like, I never got offended. I was playing World of Warcraft back then.
Yeah.
But I never, watching that episode, I never felt like, oh, my identity is under attack. It was like, no, they got that right.
That is like arguably the most popular episode of South Park. Gamers love that episode. So it's like, you just roll with the punches with South Park. Like, just don't take it too seriously. It's comedy at the end of the day. Even if they're trying to say something, it's a joke, you know? Like, it's not, it just isn't that serious.
Well, that's their one trick, is that I feel like Matt and Trey, when they make an episode, they want to get a reaction. They if they can rage bait a reaction, that's what they're looking for.
Well, and the whole show is just, like you said, it's all for Matt and Trey. It's like, what do they think is funny? And it's like, if other people find it funny, then good. But at the end of the day, they're entertaining themselves, kind of just throwing the middle finger to everyone around them. It's like even the end of season 1, where they leave it on a cliffhanger at trying to figure out who Cartman's dad is. And then the very first episode of the next season is a Terrence and Phillip special. It's just like arguably one of the worst episodes in the show. And everyone,
it's actually really funny though.
It is it's funny. I like
it. They trolled their own audience, bro.
Yeah,
I mean, people
was
waited.
Totally pissed about that. People were waiting for so long. They got like thousands of like calls to Comedy Central complaining about it, and they thought it was the funniest thing ever because they literally just gave a middle finger to their audience.
Yeah, which I think takes balls, and I think that's what makes the show special. And the fact that $1.5 billion didn't change that at all, I think, speaks to the soul.
What I was going to say is I think that ironically, it has only strengthened that in them. I feel like they're like, okay, we have fuck you money now, so we'll tell you, go fuck yourself, basically. Like, we can say whatever we want to anyone we want. What are they going to do? Take us off air? Yeah, right. They've tried that a million times in the past. It's like nothing's ever going to take down South Park at this point. So I think they're kind of
so we hope.
So we hope, yeah. Maybe the president of the United States could take down South Park if he wanted, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, they did rage bait the White House into making a response, which was really funny. Yes. Again, probably like they read it and were laughing to themselves, right?
I know.
The White House said, "It's a fourth-rate show. It hasn't been relevant in 20 years." And I remember I posted something where I was like, it's so irrelevant that someone thinks it's worth $1.5 billion.
1.5 billion, yeah, literally. Yeah. And I think that just shows that this episode basically did everything they wanted it to. Obviously, the merger went through with Paramount and all that, and I don't think in reality they thought that it was going to stop that or anything like that. That would have been absolutely insane if it did. I think they were just basically trying to rage bait Trump, and I think it worked, basically. They got a response out of him, and now that they have responded, I guarantee you there's going to be more of this to kind of continue to provoke him. Also, at the end of the episode, they're doing pro-Trump messaging now. It says 1 of 50. And there's 50 new episodes like total that they've signed up for. So in theory, it seems like they might make one of those for every single episode, which would be kind of hilarious.
Which would be amazing. And that's just like, there's so much to this episode. There's so much to talk about South Park. I almost forgot about that advert.
Yeah.
And which is funny because it's like a deep fake of Trump walking through the desert, and he keeps taking his clothes off, and it's treated as like this heroic, like he walked through the desert for you.
It's like Jesus-esque.
Yeah, and it comes off the heels of the administration like not wanting to regulate AI. It's so it kind of is like, are you sure you want to do that? Because this is, if you don't, I mean, we got 50 more of these in the chamber.
Yeah, that's something I saw people talking about, is like literally the day that the episode came out, Trump signed a bill for even less regulation on it, essentially. I don't know if that's true. I
think I saw something about that. But it's like,
that's what people were saying, was it the bill he signed was essentially less regulation on AI. So it's like, it's pretty funny that right when they did that.
The creators have demonstrated in their ability to switch gears when necessary to cover a topic that sprouts up. They've shown that they can basically scrap an entire episode and make an entire new episode in about 6 days. As far as timing of any episode in the show's history, I think the timing on this one, absolutely
So
perfect.
Yeah,
Could not be more perfect in any way, shape, or form.
I think that's really what made it so insane, is it was just such perfect timing with like everything going on with the merger, like about to be settled and all that. It literally could not have been better than that.
To kind of wrap up this discussion, if you boil South Park down to its core, the show is counterculture. That's what it really is.
Yes.
Even going as far back to the initial first pilot or episode, The Spirit of Christmas, and the idea behind that. Let's take two of the most like benevolent, positive figures, icons in American culture, Santa and Jesus, and let's have them beat the shit out of each other, right?
Yes,
Even just that idea, I mean, back then was probably very offensive to some, but also hilarious to others. I think what Matt and Trey really stand against is like self-aggrandizing. You know, all these celebrities that they make fun of think they're the most important person in the world, that they're qualified
100%.
to speak on every single topic. When they make fun of Sean Penn and Team America, it's, I've been to Iraq, you know?
Yes.
It's one of my favorite bits. So they kind of exist to serve humble pie to everyone.
They're like the great mediator, essentially, of like, don't get too high on your horse, pretty much, because we're going to knock you off pretty quickly, I feel like.
Yeah, and then you look at how, how they treated Al Gore in the Man, Bear, Pig episode, which was hilarious. But then they went back and apologized, and there's like an interview with Al Gore where he talks about South Park, and he gets like raving applause for his answer. And, it's like, that's one of the few, if not only times South Park has ever positively portrayed.
I think it is the only one.
Yeah. Positively portrayed a celebrity or apologized to them.
It is kind of insane. I think that's something, like you were saying, with counterculture. People think that South Park has changed. They're like, what happened to South Park making fun of liberals and making fun of, which, first of all, they do still do that. Literally 3 episodes ago, they made a whole episode making fun of woke politics and the gender swapping and race swapping in movies. So
yeah, and that was just, they made fun of Disney and Kathleen Kennedy.
Yes, exactly.
Put a chick in it, make her gay.
Maybe we should go a different route than we did with Indiana Jones.
Fuck Indiana Jones, put a chick in it and make her name it gay.
I mean, they kind of made fun of both sides, if you think about it, in that one.
They did. They also made fun of the people that are just lazily, like, riding on woke all the time. So, again, they'd still make fun of this stuff. The difference is, when you are satire is counterculture, as you said. There's this Rob McElhenney on Hot Ones talks about this, the guy from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He talks about what satire means. It's a good clip. He says, like, satire is inherently counterculture, because as soon as you're not counterculture, it's just culture and it's taken at face value. You can't take satire at face value because it's ironic. It's what's the word?
There's more under the hood.
Yes, there's more under the hood than just what you're looking at on the surface. And I think people don't realize that about South Park. When you're satirical, you're counterculture. And when you're counterculture, you are countering the current trends in the culture. So when the culture changes, you're still doing the same thing. You're just pissing off a different group of people than you were previously, because the culture has shifted in that direction. So as South Park has been on the air for 27 years now, the culture has shifted quite a few times. In the early 2000s, late 1990s, they were pissing off the puritanical, Bible-thumping Christians, like that American conservative spirit.
Like, whoa, you can't put that on TV.
You can't say fuck on in a movie, like that kind of stuff. Yeah, 100%. The culture shifted then towards tolerance, towards more liberal politics, and then they started targeting, liberals, and that was kind of in the mid-era of the show.
Well, they also, like late 90s, they were doing Clinton era. Early 2000s, mid-2000s, they were doing Bush, Team America. They were doing, covering the Iraq War, Afghanistan, all that stuff. They've always been counterculture, and I think they're always going to be counterculture. It's just
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, if you're getting pissed off by South Park now, I think you kind of just need to look at where you are in the sense of, why am I upset by this? Am I am I the one being targeted, or
do I need to learn to laugh at myself?
Well, yeah. Do I need to learn how to take a joke is kind of the thing. And it's ironic because a lot of the people nowadays that are getting offended by this are the exact people who have been preaching about how everyone needs to learn how to take a joke for years now. So it's like,
yeah, I thought they made comedy legal again. What the?
Exactly.
You can't get mad at South Park. Comedy's legal.
It's ironic, but anyways, it's counterculture. So just kind of laugh at it. It's just not that serious at the end of the day.
If you take it too seriously, you are playing into their hands. Matt and Trey have one trick, and it's if they can piss you off and get a rise out of you, then that's all they care about.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, I think that about sums up this episode, the state of South Park, and how it's being kind of misunderstood. It's always been misunderstood from different angles, and this just feels like another chapter in people condemning the show. Like, this is nothing new for South Park.
Yeah, it's been happening for literally 27 years at this point. So this is nothing new to them. They've always had a lot of people pissed off at them.
We'll see. I mean, if they pissed off the wrong or right people enough, we'll see if they can keep making South Park. But
yes,
it seems at least that for Matt and Trey, there is some doubt, but I think they're going to be allowed to keep making episodes.
Yeah. I would like to add on to that. I meant to mention this earlier, but in the episode when I was talking about how it's their quote-unquote suicide attempt, when Cartman and Butters are trying to kill themselves, it's with an electric car. So I think it's also kind of them saying, we know we're fine realistically, you know?
Yeah. We're not going to kill ourselves. We might, but...
Exactly.
All right, well, I think that about wraps it up. Thank you, Blooms, for coming on to talk about South Park with me. Of course, you guys can check out his channel in the description and pinned comment down below. Great videos. I'm a huge South Park fan, so it's been a lot of fun and an honor to get to talk to you, the South Park guy, about what could be the most important milestone moment in South Park's history.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. Like I said, I've been watching your videos forever now. I'm a huge fan, so it really means a lot.
Appreciate that. Don't forget to like and subscribe, but subscribe to Blooms. All right, everyone, that's all we've got for today. This is the Cartman signing out. Peace. You could say bye too. You could throw a bye in there.
Bye. Bye, everyone.